All right, I talk about going into the break talking about Bud Light. Anheuser-Busch, the CEO, finally coming out disavowing Dylan Mulvaney and saying that, well, it really wasn't an ad campaign, it was just a can. Really. I mean, this is after they are just tanking in their sales. Join me now to talk about this is Jody Hice, former member of Congress from Georgia, member of the House Freedom Caucus, now senior advisor to the president here at the Family Research Council. Jody, welcome to the program.
Always great to be with you, Tony. Thanks for having me.
And I forgot to mention, Friday host normally of
Yes.
Washington Watch as well. Appreciate you doing that.
So.
Well, so glad you do that. It gives me a chance to catch my breath and focus on the organization. A lot going on here at the Family Research
There
Council.
sure is.
So let's talk a little bit about this. Two senior marketing officials at Anheuser-Busch have kind of gone away. I don't know, I guess they were drinking on the job. I don't know. But their decisions clearly having an impact on the profit of the company.
Yeah, it's amazing. The profits have dropped some 26%. I mean, imagine that. Over 0.25% of their profits have disappeared here in just the last few weeks. And now they are coming out. Bud Light is saying this had nothing to do with any sort of campaign, an advertising campaign. None of our upper-level management were aware of it, and yet they have fired two vice presidents who were directly involved in bringing this on. And I just do not believe the American people are going to buy this at all. I think they still are in major, major trouble.
Yeah. You know, I'm using this as an example. Obviously, I do not advocate the buying and drinking of beer. I kind of joked, I wish I did drink so I could stop, so I could protest Bud Light. But I think this shows, I mean, I know the demographic. I mean, and I'm not making a judgment call on those who drink beers. I'm just saying I don't drink beer. But the reality is, these are the guys who go to NASCAR. It's it's the guys I hunt with. Fish. It's guys. I mean, and I know some women drink beer too. But yeah. The point is, they don't know their market. Either that, or New York-based advertising firms that they use, and these people that are coming out running these companies really don't know the American public.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. And there are some out there, Tony, right now that are saying this is all, a bunch of conservatives that are protesting or trying to cancel, if you will, Bud Light. But that's not what you just identified is who this is. This is average American people. I don't drink either, but
you wish you did so you could quit.
Yeah, well, I never did, so I've already quit. But the fact this. It is average Americans who drink this product, and obviously Bud Light had no idea really who their market was.
Well, I'll tell you. Okay, Coca-Cola went down this same path. Yeah. I used to drink Diet Coke. I'd like to drink Diet. I need a little caffeine boost in the afternoon. I haven't had Coke in, I don't know, a year.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to give my money to a business that is going to take the profits and use it against me.
That's right. Neither am I. I mean, that is the right we have as citizens of this country. And when you're dealing with some of these big major corporations, that's about the only voice we have against these companies is not to support them. And the American people have spoken boldly and loudly with this on Bud Light.
And we should continue to do so. We from time to time will promote, and they're just someone we have on the program, but I believe in what they do, Second Vote. And folks, you can find out more at secondvote.com. It's simply they grade these businesses for where they stand on these issues. And they mean what they mean by second vote is that you get a second vote by the money that you spend. And
exactly.
So we use it. We use the app. We're members of it. And so we want to determine where these companies line up. I want to switch gears. I want to go to a congressional issue, Jody Hice. We were talking earlier in the program with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina about PEPFAR, the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief. It's hard to believe it's been around this long, but I remember when it was first launched under President Bush, and a little controversial back then, but they worked out, make sure it was pro-life, and it's actually saved a lot of lives in Africa from AIDS. But just like everything else, the left wants to hijack it and use it as a mule for its liberal, anti-family agenda, anti-life agenda. And so the battle here to get abortion funding, forcing these foreign countries where abortion and homosexuality are kind of an anathema to their value system, and they're using this money, dangling it as basically a club over their heads.
That's right, and this has become the largest health foreign aid that America gives to various countries. And what started, as you mentioned, as something to help prevent AIDS, the spread of AIDS, has now become a tool in the hands of the left to promote abortion and all sorts of transgender ideology or whatever, all things that it was never intended to be to begin with, but it has now become.
Senator Scott said this is being debated in the the Senate Foreign Affairs Committee. Of course, the Democrats have the edge there. What do we need to do to make sure this thing does not get modified to begin to advance this leftist agenda?
Yeah, well, listen, I think the senator was right on. Senators need to hear from their constituents, people from their states, and that goes on both sides of the aisle. Both Republicans and Democrats need to hear from the members of their states, the citizens of their states, demanding that these funds not be used to promote abortion and other liberal ideology. No tax dollars, none, should be going to promote this type of thing in our own country, let alone to foreign countries that we are now, as you said, dangling a carrot in front of these other countries. Many of these countries desperately need help. But here we are saying to them, we're not going to give you aid unless you use these funds for this type of of things that we disagree with. And it's just morally wrong to do across the board.
Let me ask you about that. I've spoken to a number of foreign leaders, primarily in my role when I was at the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedoms. I chaired that. A number of ambassadors and others saying that, the United States using its foreign funds, its foreign aid funds, to shape these anti-family policies. Did you hear that as you met with foreign leaders about? Of course, you were there during the Trump years when it was actually pretty good. But that's what the Obama administration did, and it appears that the Biden administration is doing that in multiples.
Yeah, in all honesty, as you said, when I was visiting, most of the foreign leaders was under the Trump administration, and in those instances, we were dealing with specific foreign issues and national security issues, both with those countries and ours, and that type of thing. But these type of issues were very much taking place, and we were aware of it, of course, in the Obama administration, and coming on, of course, now with the Biden administration has been accelerated to where it seems as though the entire purpose of foreign aid is no longer to provide foreign aid for specific issues such as AIDS, in this case, AIDS prevention. But the purpose of U.S. foreign aid under this administration is to force other countries to adopt ideologies that probably most of them don't agree with, but it is what this left-wing, radical left-wing administration is trying to force.
And what people need to understand is oftentimes it's even to the left of what has been adopted in the United States.
In our own country, that's right.
The State Department, I saw this, is notorious for this. It is a cycle. What they do is it's a swamp, literally is a swamp. They're pushing these policies onto these other countries, tying it to foreign aid. But then it comes back into the United Nations, and then you have this collective voice advocating for this, then even putting pressure onto the United States. So they're actually trying to shape policy here at home through the back door of their foreign policy through the State Department.
The whole thing is so crooked, and what bothers me now is the realization of the tail wagging the dog here in our own country. Yeah. And the outcome of that, Tony, is not good in any way. I mean, you run this thing down to the conclusion of where this is taking us, both as a country, the United States, but more than that, globally. And the end result of this is absolutely disastrous, and we must put a stop to it. And I'm grateful that you and so many other leaders have written a letter now to try to highlight this, to expose it, and to help build momentum to put a stop to it.
I want to go back to another issue we talked about very briefly with your former colleague, Gary Palmer, a member of the House Oversight Committee. You were on the House Oversight Committee when you were in Congress. Your thoughts on this disclosure by a whistleblower that there was this quid pro quo from then Vice President Biden, the FBI sitting on this document saying that the Vice President basically offered policy decisions for money?
It is, one of the things that it appears this administration, and not just this administration, but even under Obama, but particularly now it's highlighted, is they themselves being guilty of what they accuse others of doing.
Yeah.
And we watched this type of thing being accused, these type of accusations hurled at President Trump over and over and over and over, where they themselves are guilty.
Which none of it was ever proven true. Never,
in fact,
none
just
of it
the
was,
opposite.
Yeah.
And
he was always exonerated. They found there was nothing there.
There was nothing there. And now we are finding very disturbing information and whistleblowers coming forth with seeming unbelievable evidence. And I just, look, the FBI is going to have to respond to these subpoenas. We are already watching a display of a double standard of justice in this country. And this is the type of thing they cannot cover up just because it has to do with the Democrats or Biden's family.
According to the information that has come out, they have had this document since June of 2020. That's almost 3 years.
Unbelievable.
And now let me just ask you this. If this would have been a document about Donald Trump or some other Republican prominent leader, Jim Jordan, do you think that it would
have come out?
Yeah, do you think it would have come out?
It certainly wouldn't have taken 3 years. And, this would have come out before the election had it been on the other. And we all know this. This is not something new. We know the double standard. Excuse me. And, what's happening here in this double standard of justice has to be exposed and has to stop.
You're listening to Washington Watch. I'm your host, Tony Perkins. Good to have you with us. Jody Hice, my guest here in this final segment. I want to move to, I guess, maybe I describe this a little more lighthearted conversation. This was some news this week. The White House announced a plan to crack down on artificial intelligence amid growing concerns over the advanced technology possibly replacing humanity someday. They have named Vice President Kamala Harris as the AI czar.
This is really comical. I honestly can think of no one perhaps more qualified for artificial intelligence than the vice president. This is unbelievable.
With a budget of $140 million, I'd say, for this czar position. A bizarre position, I should say.
Yeah, it is absolute insanity. You look at the incompetence. All right, in all seriousness, look at the incompetence of the vice president being the czar of the border. And the border is more wide open. We are seeing more drug trafficking.
Wait. I got a clip on that. I got a clip on it. All right, so I've got White House Press Secretary. This was on Monday. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. Play clip number 10.
We actually deal with the immigration system in a humane way, and in a way that is that actually deals with what we're seeing at the border, and that's why you've seen the parolee program be so successful. It has when it comes to illegal migration, you've seen it come down by more than 90%, and that's because of the actions that this president has taken.
The incompetence is everywhere, and not just incompetence, outright untruths, lies. There could be nothing further.
90%?
It is just the opposite. It's up another 90%. We're human trafficking, drug trafficking, criminals come to. You've been to the border. I've been to all 9 sectors. I've seen it all. And it is absolutely a bold-faced lie to say that illegal immigration crossings are down 90%.
Folks, you just cannot believe what comes out of the mouth of this administration. They are intentionally deceptive, to put it nice. Jody Hice, we're out of time. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be
Always
with you,
great to
Tony.
see you. Thank
Likewise.
you. Appreciate you being here at the Family Research Council.